you got hurt, followed all the right steps, and your claim still gets tossed aside like it means nothing. The adjuster's nice on the phone, but then they tell you your case has no value and offer you a check that wouldn't even cover your ER bill. And here's what no one tells you. It's not because you didn't have a case. It's because you didn't document one detail that makes or breaks 90% personal injury claims. I'm Brett Harrison. I've handled thousands of injury cases here in New York, and I see this exact mistake in people's compensation every single day. This video walks you through that missing piece so your claim gets taken seriously and you don't walk away with nothing after someone else's mistake. Number one, most claims start without evidence. Let me be straight with you. Most personal injury claims are dead on arrival, not because the person wasn't hurt, but because there's no real evidence to support the claim. And in New York, evidence, it's everything. The insurance company isn't just going to take your word for it. They want medical records. They want photos. They want witness statements. They want proof. What I see time and time again is someone gets hurt in a car crash or a fall and they wait. Maybe they think the pain will go away. Maybe they're afraid of the hospital bill. But by the time they decide to make a claim, it's often too late. The damage is done, and I'm not talking about the injury. If you don't go to the doctor within a reasonable time period after your accident, typically within 24 to 72 hours, the insurance adjuster is going to use that delay against you. They'll say, if you were really hurt, wouldn't you have gone to the ER right away? So let me be crystal clear. The moment you're in an accident, the clock starts ticking. Every day you wait to document your injuries or collect evidence is a day your case loses value. Number two, pain without diagnosis is just a complaint. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me saying, first question is always, what did the doctor say? I've been in pain for weeks. If your answer is, I haven't been yet, we've got a real problem. In New York, in order to recover compensation for pain and suffering in a car accident, you have to meet what's called the serious injury threshold under insurance law section 5102D. That means your injury has to be more than just minor aches and pains. You need an actual diagnosis, something like a herniated disc, a fracture, a torn ligament, something objective, an MRI, a CAT scan, an X-ray. These are your best friends in a personal injury case. They take your complaint and turn it into hard proof. Without that, it's just your word against theirs. And to be blunt, that's not enough to win in New York. Number three, no police report, no problem, right? Wrong. Let's say you were in a car accident, but nobody called the police. You and the other driver agreed to just handle it through the insurance. Happens all the time. But here's the issue. When there's no police report, it's your version of events versus theirs. And guess what? If they change their story later, you've got nothing to fall back on. A police report locks in the facts. It documents who was involved, where it happened, when it happened, and often who the officer believes was at fault. Even if it's not perfect, it's a starting point, and that makes it powerful. In New York, especially in crowded places like Brooklyn, Queens, or the Bronx, these reports often make or break the liability side of the case. No report, the adjuster has every excuse to delay or deny your claim. 4. Minor impact equals major denial. Here's another trap people fall into, thinking that if the damage to their car looks small, then the injury must be small as well. That's not how the human body works. You can have a bumper that barely has a scratch and still walk away with a torn rotator cuff or a cervical disc injury. But insurance companies, they love to argue that low impact equals no injury. They might even hire a so-called biomechanical expert to testify that your injuries couldn't have happened based on the photos of your vehicle. So if your case relies only on the visible damage to your car, it's probably not going anywhere. That's why you need both medical proof and well-documented explanation how your body moved during the impact and what your symptoms were from day one. 5, talking to the adjuster before talking to a lawyer. One of the fastest ways to ruin a perfectly good claim is to have a casual chat with the insurance adjuster. They sound friendly. They say they just need your side of the story. But what they're really doing is fishing for anything they can to use against you. In New York, insurance companies are trained to take recorded statements early. They'll ask you questions like, when did the pain first start? Have you ever had back problems before? Did you go to the doctor yet? And the worst part is, whatever you say can and will be used to minimize your payout. The smart move? Talk to an attorney first. Let us handle the communication because once something is said on record, you can't take it back. 6. Treating with the wrong doctor. Here's a detail that almost nobody talks about, but it kills claims every single day. If you treat with a doctor who doesn't know how to document your injuries for a legal case, you could be in trouble. That means no detailed notes, no objective testing, and no understanding of how to explain your condition in court or to an insurance company. In New York, especially with car accident cases under the no-fault system, you only have 30 days to file a claim for medical benefits. If your doctor doesn't get that paperwork done in time or doesn't even know about the deadline, you might end up paying out of pocket. Plus, a general practitioner who doesn't specialize in accident cases might underreport your symptoms or fail to connect them to the accident at all. That's why one of the first things we do is to help you find the right kind of medical care. People who know how to treat you and how to properly support your claim. Number 7, ignoring follow-up care. Even if you go to the ER the same day, it's not enough to go once and never again. If you stop treatment too early or skip appointments, the insurance company will argue that your injuries weren't serious or that you got better quickly. They'll say things like, well, if they really had a back injury, wouldn't they have gone back to the doctor? And here's the kicker. New York law allows the defense to argue that your damages are limited because you failed to mitigate them. In plain English, that means you didn't do your part to get better. So why should they pay? If your pain continues, your treatment should continue as well. And it should be consistent, not just for your health, but for the strength of your case. 8. Posting on social media. This one might sound minor, but it's not. You'd be surprised how many cases fall apart because someone posted a photo of themselves smiling at a family barbecue or going on vacation while claiming they were too injured to work. Insurance companies do look you up. They'll search your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything that's public. And if they see something that doesn't line up with your claims, they'll use it to destroy your credibility. Even innocent posts can be twisted. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and not all of them will help you. Number 9, the last one, settling too early. And this is big. People often get desperate. Bills are piling up. They're out of work, and the insurance company waves a few $1,000s in front of them. It's tempting, but if you settle before you know the full extent of your injuries, before you know if you'll need surgery or long-term care, you're locking yourself out of future compensation forever. Once you sign that release, that case is over. Even if you need a spinal fusion 6 months later, you're on your own. That's why most injury claims are useless, because by the time someone finally calls a lawyer, the damage is done. Not to the body, but to the case. We just talked about why so many injury claims fall apart in New York, even when the person is legitimately hurt. If you don't document your injuries, follow through with treatment, avoid adjuster traps, or pick the right doctor, your case might not stand a chance. But here's the good news. The next video shows you how to flip the script. We're going to break down the easiest ways to get paid big for your car accident in New York. I'll show you how to protect your claim, maximize your compensation, and avoid the traps the insurance companies are hoping you'll fall into. If you're serious about getting what you're owed, this is the video you can't afford to miss. See you over there.